This is only the second pedicure I've ever had in my life. For the past 14 years, most of our time, energy, and money have been spent trying to have children. We finally made it. We have 2 great kids, but it was not easy. When I was 23, I was newly married, and I was having a lot of pain with my period. And I had a laparoscopy, and it showed that I had endometriosis. And our doctor said if we ever wanted to have children, we needed to try to get pregnant right away. We felt a lot of pressure, but definitely wanted kids. So we said, okay, we got to do this. We started trying immediately, but it wasn't happening. It was very discouraging. After a year, we found out my husband's sperm count and vitality were low. His urologist suggested a surgery to correct the problem, but emotionally, it was really bad. He finally did agree to have the surgery, and I got pregnant. But I miscarried before I even knew I was pregnant. A year after that, we got pregnant again and miscarried. Then a year after that, we got pregnant and miscarried again. It gets so stressful. In 2002, I decided to go back to school, and the school health plan had insurance coverage. So my husband and I decided to go see a reproductive endocrinologist and do an IVF cycle. That's where they mix the egg and the sperm, and the resulting embryo is transferred into the uterus. We didn't have that option before because we didn't have coverage. During our first round of IVF, we implanted 2 embryos and I got pregnant. But we had an early miscarriage. We were told that's very common. In 2003, we did another IVF cycle, this time with PGD, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. It showed that 1 out of 4 embryos was genetically normal. We transferred that embryo and we became pregnant, but we lost that one too. A blood test showed that I had a blood clotting disorder, and it was compromising my body's ability to maintain a pregnancy. So I started going online more, doing research. I went to the websites of all the different fertility clinics and found the local doctor who specialized in the problems I was having. He really explained things to me. I knew this was the doctor for me. He started me on a blood thinner to manage my blood clotting disorder, and then we were ready to do another IVF cycle. I produced 7 embryos. We transferred the best ones, but by 7 weeks, we had just 1, which was my daughter, Bella. 14 months after Bella was born, we decided to do IVF again. I got pregnant, but then there was no heartbeat, and it turned out to be a Down syndrome baby. After a while, we did another IVF cycle, my 6th. Ultrasound showed I had 3 babies, but I wasn't panicked. I thought some of them would stop growing. But at 10, 11 weeks, they were still growing. I was advised to do a selective reduction because I have a weak cervix and my body wouldn't hold all 3. So the doctor chose which one to reduce based on location. And what we have left is this little guy right here. These days, besides taking care of my kids, I'm working to get legislation passed to have recurrent pregnancy loss included as part of the definition of infertility. As for my husband and I, we still go to couples counseling. For the past 14 years, infertility gave us a common goal. Now we have to shift. We're trying to catch up, and we will.